What's going on, guys? MMuniz here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over one of my favorite topics, credit cards. We're going to talk specifically about the American Express Blue Cash Preferred credit card. We will discuss the everyday card a little bit, but mostly we're going to go over the pros and cons of the Blue Cash Preferred card, as with any typical credit card review. And then we're also going to take a look at a spreadsheet to determine if it has a place in my wallet or maybe yours. Now, I made this video for two reasons. I had to do some research because I was trying to figure out if I should keep this credit card at the end of the year, because there is an annual fee. It is waived for the first year, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So if I'm already doing the research to figure it out for myself, I might as well make a video on it and try to help you guys as well. So hopefully you get some value out of it. Now, if you work hard for your money and you want to make it go further, make sure you smash the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. We do weekly videos on anything related to finance or personal fitness. And lastly, and I say this in all my credit card videos, we got to remember the golden rule of credit if we want to make money. We need to pay our bills in full every month, and we never purchase things that we aren't going to purchase otherwise. So with that said, let's get into the video. So first things first, why would you want this credit card? Well, with any credit card that you should be signing up for, there needs to be a sign-up bonus. And this one has a pretty good one. Right now, it has a $250 sign-up bonus if you spend $3,000 in the first 6 months. Now, what to pay attention to is 6 months is a pretty long time to get to $3,000. If you're just buying gas and groceries, I'm pretty sure more than likely you're going to hit that amount, even if you're someone that's a bit younger or, has low expenses. Now, I will say that this card, up until about an hour ago, had a $300 sign-up bonus. I don't know why it changed, but when you used to click on my referral link, which is down in the description below, it would actually give you a $300 bonus on $3,000, which is a 10% return. $250, not as good, but still respectable because you're going to get some really good returns on this card in other areas, which we're going to talk about next. So we already discussed the sign-up bonus, which is pretty strong and pretty easy to achieve. We also mentioned that the annual fee is waived the first year. After that, $95 a year. So keep that in mind. First year free, then you're going to have to pay. That's when you need to determine, does this card deserve a place in your wallet? But what are the awesome things about this card? Well, 6% cash back at groceries, US supermarkets, that kind of stuff. That is fantastic. Also, 6% cash back on select US streaming subscriptions. So your Netflix, your HBO Max, look at the fine print to get the exact list. That's a pretty solid return. Also, 3% cash back at US gas stations, and then ride sharing. So Uber, Lyft, taxis, that kind of stuff, those are going to fall into that category as well. So with these three things that they talk about right on their homepage, when we compare them to other credit cards, they are comparable, if not better than other credit cards. Those are really, really strong offerings, and these are all year. So it's not revolving categories. You don't need to manage, signing up for bonuses or anything like that. This is pretty easy. You get the card and you're going to get these discounts. I will say that the rewards program is also pretty easy. The rewards for this card are given in the form of statement credits. So if you have $20 in rewards, it just goes towards your statement. Now, it does not count as your minimum payment, but if you owe $100 and if you owe $1,000 and you have a $20 statement credit, you now owe $980. So very easy. This is going to be for anyone that doesn't want to take a lot of time in managing categories and signing up and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is going to be your typical credit card. A lot of credit cards offer dispute resolution, travel insurance, car rental insurance, purchase protection, return protection, all that kind of stuff. Very similar here, but you're going to have to do your research and look at the fine print if you're interested in that kind of stuff. You're going to get that on a lot of credit cards, and this one's no different. Now, one thing that this card offers, and other cards do offer this as well, but I feel like this one's a bit more advanced or better, is they have really good offers. Some of these, for instance, spend $500 at Microsoft, get $100 back. Also, there's one for Sunoco where if you spend $25, you get $5 back. There's a lot of really good returns for the offers that they have, and these ones you do have to sign up for. So these are separate from what you're normally going to get, and there's typically deadlines with this kind of thing. But if you take the time to look through these, there's some really good offerings. Now, as much as we'd like this not to be the case, we know that there's not a single perfect credit card out there. So what are the negatives with this credit card? Well, I'm going to tell you right away, the first problem and biggest problem for me is that it's an AMEX card. American Express is just not accepted in the places that I go to on a daily basis. A good example of that is Costco. You cannot use this card at Costco. Costco only accepts Visa. It's ridiculous, but I spend a lot of money at Costco, so for me that's a big problem. Another thing, and this is actually a benefit of the card, but we need to talk about the downside of it, is the 6% cash back. So for the US supermarkets, it's only up to $6,000 a year. That may seem like a lot, but for the average family, I would expect you to spend more than $600 a month. My wife and I, we average around $600, maybe $650 a month, and I feel like we very, very cheaply. We barely ever buy sweets. We buy everything on sale. We try to be really strategic with our grocery purchases, and honestly, it's just me and her. I mean, yeah, we have a baby, but the stuff we buy for the baby is obviously not like, expensive meat or anything like that. Another downside is the $95 annual fee. I personally don't like any credit card with an annual fee unless there's a really good reason to keep it. And we're gonna get into that later, but we gotta finish the negatives. The last thing is that all purchases give you 1%. So, some people might think, oh, that's good. I can use it for everything. And if it's not in one of those categories we talked about, then I'm gonna get 1% cash back. 1% cash back does not cut it nowadays. If you're not getting at least 2% cash back, then you're doing something wrong. If you don't already have the Active Cash Wells Fargo card, then you need to get it, or at least the Citi Double Cash. At some point, I'm gonna do a video on that card as well, but I don't have it, so I just haven't taken the time to do it. I think a comparison video would actually be pretty good. So let's go back to that annual fee. Even with the $95 annual fee, is it worth keeping this card? Well, let's take a look at a spreadsheet that I made and we'll find out. So I made this little spreadsheet to help us have a good comparison between two options for cards. So we're gonna look at the Blue Cash Preferred, and then we're also gonna look at the Blue Cash Everyday. The Everyday is very similar, except it does not have an annual fee, so no worry about charges, you can just hold the card, but you only get 3% cash back on groceries or supermarkets. So let's do the comparison. If we spend the maximum per year before it turns into that 1%, because at that point I wouldn't be using this card, I would switch to the 2% card, we would get a total return of $360 if we were using the preferred card. Now, if we were using the everyday card, we'd only get $180. 50% of the return makes sense. But let's also take advantage of some streaming. Now, I know people that spend a lot more than this yearly. Some people may spend this, some people may spend less. Maybe it applies to you, maybe it doesn't. For this example, we just used $15 in return at the end of the year. So our total return was $375 cash back, minus our annual fee brings us to just under $300. If we use the non-annual fee card and we didn't get any return from the streaming, then we'd only end up with $180. So we still have a $100 benefit by using the annual fee credit card. So comparing these two right here, I would say that it's better to use the annual fee card. Even if you're just using the Wells Fargo, then your return is going to be even worse because at the end of the day, as a human, you have to buy groceries. I mean, unless you're still living with your parents or something, which is fine. But, typically families spend a lot of money on groceries. But let's get a little deeper. What about the 5% quarterly categories? Now, the average credit card holder may not have something like this, but maybe someone that's a bit more advanced with their credit card churning, they take advantage of quarterly categories with like a Chase Freedom or a Citi Custom Cash, and this applies to my family and friends. So if you're watching, pay attention. I can almost guarantee with 99% certainty that at some quarter, or 3 months out of the year, you're gonna have a better option that's gonna give you at least 5% cash back instead of using the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred. Because remember, you're probably gonna spend more than the $6,000. If you're under $6,000, then you're still gonna get more return by using the 6% credit card. But let's just pretend that for the quarter, we're set on using our Chase Freedom, Flex, or whatever card gives us 5% cash back because we think we're gonna beat that amount at the end of the year. So for 9 months, if we go off my average expense, which is $650, I end up being $5,850. So I could have spent $150 more to get that 6% return, but I was pretty close, and I still got the 5% cash back on the other 3 months out of the year. Well, I got $351. If we take out the annual fee, I still made $256. So at the end of the day, I still profited considerably by having the annual fee credit card. So for any family that has a decent amount of grocery expenses, this is honestly a perfect credit card for you guys. Even with the annual fee, you're gonna make money. Now, the first year, no fee, and you get $250 for free. It's a no-brainer. This is an awesome credit card. Just make sure that you check with your local supermarket, wherever you frequent, that they accept American Express because not every place does. So you don't wanna get this credit card and find out it doesn't apply to you because that'd be a pain. You don't wanna deal with that. So what did I learn from this video? Well, in my research, I learned, just as I just explained, that this is a way better credit card than I gave it credit for like 3 or 4 years ago when I was looking at getting this card for the first time. I actually only upgraded to this card because American Express sent me an email saying upgrade and we'll give you $250 and we won't check your credit. So I don't know why, but I've been getting a lot of those offers lately and I love it because it's just free money for me. So I'm going to keep this card, but at the end of the year, I'm actually going to cancel it and then I'm going to sign my wife up for it and I'm going to refer her. So I'll get $75 for my referral. She's going to get her $250 sign-up bonus and then she's going to buy all the groceries like she does on a monthly basis, which she holds on to my card right now so that we get this because then she's going to save money on groceries. I'll get a referral and we're married, so we're all winning. So I hope you guys found something useful out of today's video. I'm typically not an Amex fan, but I am trying to do a little bit more research lately just to see if it'll apply to me, and I'm starting to be kind of impressed. So you might see some more videos on some Amex cards coming up. If you're still watching the video, leave me a comment down below. What do you think about this card? Do you already have it? Do you think there's something better? I want to hear from you guys. I do my best to answer all of the comments in all my videos. And with that said, I hope to see you next week. Take care.